What is up, New World? Just Game Master Coaching here, plopping out another New World video for you guys today. I wanted to go through something that I've seen consistently on the forums that I just wanted to address because whenever I end up slotting gems and stuff like that, it makes a huge impact on how much damage I'm actually taking. So I've seen a lot of this stuff on the forums where it's like the state of the bow is just too much damage. They can move too much. Like it isn't like a thought out thing, and it confuses me in a lot of different ways of like, are these people actually taking the time to actually try out different builds and different gems? Because if not, it's huge. So like a lot of these complaints about damage numbers and stuff like that, it's like super easily fixed by just slotting the right gems. Well, every single class has its own strengths and weaknesses. If you're melee, like, you do a lot of damage really close, really fast. But it's like your range, yeah, of course you're gonna be able to snipe people from a long way away. That's the class. So it's like chasing like what it says here, chasing 3 range users and then you getting beat. Yeah, that's gonna happen. You know, like, it's your class. Your class isn't made to chase down and kill somebody like that, you know, unless they're just massively out of position. So it's like there's a lot of things that come into these classes, and I wanted to break down at least the Runeglass and the gems and how to actually go through the process of figuring out what gems you need, how to slot them, and the process that I go through that makes a huge difference for me whenever I'm picking up a build or figuring out how to actually play a build into the meta or what I'm actually having to fight against. And this, I started with no gems at all. Came in here just wanting to take damage, stretch myself, see if I can kill things, see how much damage I'm taking. In this specific situation, I saw, man, thrust damage was destroying me. So this area right here at the top of your screen is going to be huge for you figuring out what gems you should actually slot. And I saw that I died to actual fire staff, so both thrust and fire was killing me. So I was like, okay, so I need at least those gems. Got into another fight and it was all thrust. And I was like, dude, I was taking massive damage here. Okay, so that's another thrust. Got into this fight and I got absolutely destroyed by a fireball. In this situation, I was like, okay, that's definitely magic damage. Let's see what's actually on his staff and if anything like attributed to that. And I was like, it's a blank staff? Nah. All right, so it's just elemental damage. So I went through this process with all of these fights, making sure I looked at who I was killed by and what I was killed from. And then after that, I started slotting the gems that I thought would be the most help to me to like surviving. So I threw in a bunch of thrust gems, a couple of opals, a few of the slash damage, because those were the main ones that I was encountering. So I was like, okay, well then I'm gonna start with this. This is my baseline, and I'm gonna kind of go through this. Another thing to add too is, whenever you're slotting Runeglass, making sure that you have the jewelry where you can slot gems, because some jewelry has a permanent gem in it that you can't slot, and this makes it to where changing and adapting your build is going to cost you more, because then you're going to have to completely pay for new rune glass. So I would suggest getting some type of jewelry where you can actually slot full gems into them. After that, went into the next game with these gems slotted, to just kind of feel how much survivability did I actually have. The initial push was already way better. I got hit by some of these ice walls and ice showers too, and I started to see, hey, like, the ability to survive right now is actually a lot easier. Like, I have a lot more agency, I have a lot more flexibility on when I want to use my dodge rolls, like whatever. I'm not just constantly getting hammered by, you know, a few autos and then just dying. You know, testing out my thrust gems here. I got hit a couple of times with autos from thrust and it barely touched me, so I was like, okay, my thrust I feel like is in a fairly decent spot. I don't think I need to adjust those, or I might even be able to switch out a thrust gem for something else. So I just kind of played around with this. I felt like I had more survivability, so I was like, all right, let's test this and see actually how far we can take this survivability. Went into this fight, tons of people around, got stuck in an ice shower. I would have immediately been dead in my previous game. And I'm still alive through all of this, taking arrows and everything like that. So I was like, yeah, I think these gems are actually in a really good spot. Obviously, whenever I put in rune glass, it's going to take down my my resistance a little bit, but I feel like this is a good baseline. So after that, I was like, okay, now I just got to work on my damage. Started upgrading some stuff. Obviously, it's only 608 still. Still working on it, but as I increase that, my damage is going to go up too, and my survivability. So put on my rune glass, and I was like, okay, let's do this. And then if I need to make some adjustments, which I did here, I'll throw in, you know, my gems that I can adjust stuff with in my jewelry. I was like, ooh, okay, I'm starting to do more damage. Oh man, I'm actually like pushing people out of areas that I don't want them in. So I'm really liking my survivability, how much damage I'm taking from attacks, and then my damage. So, and my damage is just going to increase. So after going in on this guy, I was like, oh man, all right, this guy stunned me, but I can still kill people, so that's nice. So I'm like, all right, I just gotta make sure I'm working on not getting stunned in the wrong places, because I have the damage and I have the survivability, so don't take fights that aren't good for me. And this is a fight I was like, yeah, this is juicy, I kind of want it. Went on this to kind of test some stuff. We all killed them, still survived, but I was taking a lot of magic damage here, so I wasn't sure if I wanted to change it. I got into another fight with thrust 2v1. I really wanted to kind of test out my thrust gems and make sure that if I changed them, it was going to be okay. And I saw in this fight, I was like, yeah, I have way more than enough time to dodge, to make decisions with my survivability and thrust, so I can definitely make an adjustment on that. So I went in here, changed out my jewelry gem into a elemental gem instead of a thrust, and I was like, all right, let's check it out. We'll see how I go. Got into this fight, which kind of showed me I'm liking this exact usage of gems. Just the fire abilities weren't hitting me as hard, as noticeable, and yeah, I got to really play the game at that point. Got to get better at shooting, got to get better at dodging. I'm still running out of stamina, but that'll be fixed. But you can see right there, I just got nailed with a fireball, whereas before it just obliterated me, and this one barely touched me. So all of the magic damage I was taking was almost non-existent. And this can be accompanied by like the physical aversion and the elemental aversion too, which gives you added damage, and I don't even have those in this yet. So after making all these adjustments, I was fighting this fight, and I was just like, dude, I'm doing really good. I'm loving all this. And then I get hit with this, and I'm like, maybe thrust was a bad idea. And then I saw that he has penetrating rapid shot, and every single shot does 33, or ignores 33% of armor. And I was like, oh, it's not thrust, it's like rend and armor decreases that's actually doing the damage. So kept trying it out. Still working on the stuff. I'm like, okay, so all my gems are fine. Now I just got to work on dodging abilities. And I can tell, even with this, I'm like, man, getting hit with riposte and a lot of these abilities, that's, I feel like, my weakness. It's not the damage, it's dodging key abilities that I'm not aware of. So going back to the forums, I hope this helps you guys understand some damage isn't broken. Change out your runes, get creative, actually experiment, because it's so much fun whenever you find the right gems for you. It just creates the ability to play the game in a completely different way. So I wanted to share this with you guys. Hope you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.